What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the Kansas City Royals franchise here on MLB The Show 23. I'm DFG, and we're in spring training now, and we've got some bench roles that we need to fill up here, so we're going to figure them out here today. As I said, not many roles that are really available, mostly just to see who'll be on the bench for us. So we do see a lot of the players here that I'm trying to take a look at for those bench roles, and we're going to jump right into our feature game here today against the Texas Rangers. Guy that we drafted in our first draft, Gary Nixon, is going to take the mound here today. And really, that's all I'm kind of looking for at the moment. Who are going to be the bench players, the guys who are going to come out of the bullpen, things like that. Gary Nixon is up for a starting role this year as he gets up to a pretty good start, 0-2 after that foul ball. And there's another. Lots of foul balls by Bubba Thompson, but there's a strikeout for Gary Nixon. Good start to the day for him. So Gary is up for a chance at a starting rotation, and really it's going to be based on how he performs and how other players perform. As Seager fouls that one off. We'll have to wait and see. I do think Nixon, even if he put up a bad spring training, would have a pretty good chance to make the roster over some of the other guys who haven't really done anything at the majors. Well, Nixon has done at least a little bit at the September call-ups as he gets his second strikeout of the game and will end the first inning for him. I don't expect us to do much hitting today with Jake DeGrom on the mound and us having a lot of youngsters and maybe guys whose hitting abilities aren't quite where they need to be. Geraldo Guzman is one of the guys who actually has pretty good hitting stats, but after spring training last year, he had a chance to make the roster, but I decided against it after that bad strikeout. I think I made the right decision. And there's another strikeout, and I'll end the first. I think Nixon or the team is going to have to put in a good pitching performance today because the Rangers, I usually like to look at guys who, are on the cusp of making the roster, and see how they do, and then go from there. So I tend to put those guys out, and I think the players that I mostly know are going to make the roster tend to not be in the starting lineup, as Nixon gets a really nice strikeout there. So guys like Nixon, guys like TJ Sakima, who's had opportunities in the past, that's a hit there for Marcus Semien. That's going to be a double. Beck, Way, Asa Lacey, all those guys, they're going to get opportunities in the starting rotation in spring training. Just to see where we are in terms of that fifth starter spot as Nixon walks to Douglas Garcia. There's a catch there from Hollis. Good defensive play. And that's a strike there for Nixon. So, I also want to see good defense from these guys. There are a lot of players who have pretty good defensive attributes. Hollis, Wallace. That's a really good strikeout to end the second there for Nixon. Another strikeout. It's a foul ball by Martinez, as we've really struggled to do much in these first two innings. A lot of foul balls, not making much contact, and a lot of bad strikeouts. And there's another one, end of the second. Through two innings, Nixon's been pretty decent, but that's a poor play there from Samad Taylor. Almost got Tavares at first there. A slower player may have been caught at first. And now Yandy Diaz is going to get one down. That's probably going to bring home the first run with Tavares' speed, and indeed it will. Nixon gives up his first run. Definitely his worst inning so far, but that changeup low gets Seager. That's his second out of the inning. That slider's just low there. Now it's 1-2. I think through three innings, Nixon's done pretty well. Allowed some guys on base, but had some really nice pitches, and that changeup was a bit high, but it got the job done. 6 strikeouts for DeGrom now. Prado makes contact, but that's straight to the shortstop. That'll do it. End of the third. We're going to bring in Ben Kudrna, another guy who could possibly make the starting rotation for us this year. There's 2 spots, I think, right now that are open in the starting rotation. Nixon and Nixon he's not guaranteed a spot, but Kudrna did some pretty good things. He had some good innings in at the major leagues, and with sliders like that, he might just be the man who gets that 5th starting pitcher role. Change up low, fouled off. I do like Kudrna. I think he's done pretty well, and I think of all the guys that we started off with here, he's the guy who's the most MLB readies. He gets another strikeout. I don't think Kudrna is perfect by any stretch, but he's done pretty well here through 2. But Ortega's going to get that one down for a hit. Oh, just low on the slider to get the strikeout. I'm interested to see how Kudrna does. Would like to see him in the starting rotation for next year. That's another ball low. That one was left up. And like there's a lot of these younger pitchers. They are going to leave some balls hittable over the plate, and that one's going to be taken care of by Prato. And now we're in the bottom of the 4th. Clayton Kershaw on the mound now. We're not really getting any chance to get any kind of break here, as that's going to end the 4th for us. No hits so far. Not surprising to see myself struggle on the offensive end. Haven't played MLB The Show much, but I always want to see how our pitchers are doing. And Kudrna gets another strikeout. Looks like we could be very good strikeout team here, as that one should have been taken care of by Wallace, and his defensive abilities are his main attributes there, Wallace, as he's not done well offensively in the minors. Now we're in trouble. Maybe a walk there, but that one's in the zone. Seager late on the swing, and that one looks like it's gonna go foul. Indeed, it will. Gets away with that one. Ronaldo was above the zone. Seager just did something with it, and in the end, he is gonna get out of it. So that's the middle of the 5th. There's not a single player who's impressing me in terms of offensive capabilities. We've had some good at-bats and some decent contact, but can't really seem to get it down. There's another very good contact, but it's playable. I'll end the 5th. He's going to stay in, and Nathaniel Lowe is going to say, no problem, I'm just going to hit that into the stands as he doubles the Rangers' lead. And with that, we're going to bring in TJ Sakima. Had some opportunities at the majors, but hasn't made a spot his quite yet. I don't know if Sakima will be a guy that we get to, I suppose, explore at the major league level much more. They're just younger guys. Not quite sure what age he is now. I think it's about 27. Don't quote me on that. But when he came up earlier in the series and did pretty okay, I think. But just obviously didn't do well enough for me to want to keep him around at the major league level, as that's now 2-1, 4 pitches in. And see if we can get Simeon down. That's a nice change up low, but Simeon does get a touch on it. And Wallace will make the play this time. And that's going to end Simeon's at-bat. And Ortega is going to hit that one back up the middle for Sakima to give up his first hit of the day. And Huff is actually going to go back-to-back on Sakima. And Guzman had trouble in the outfield, and that's going to allow the Rangers to add on another run here. That's 3 now. Sakima stays in and gets the out. But it's at the bottom of the 6th. And Hollis will walk. Probably the only positive we've had offensively so far through 6 or through 5. Not the greatest of contact. Might bloop in, but no, it won't. Wallace, that's first out there. Prado. Not terrible contact, but straight to the second baseman, and that's going to be a double play. Bobby Ostrander is next on the list for us, as he will indeed take the mound. Nice strike up high there. And that's going to be fouled off, so he's got a very advantageous count here. Ostrander, of course, we haven't tried at the majors quite yet. We did try Derek McGee, so if Ostrander could put up some good numbers here in spring training, he might get a chance in the bullpen with a nice strikeout there. He's off to a good start. 0-1 here. 6 pitches. Ostrander's got through the 7th, and now he's 0-2. He might be able to do it in 8 pitches. No, that fastball's inside. Ostrander is someone I'm actually interested in. He's got some decent potential. I think it's at C, so, you know, someone for a reliever role more than capable of filling the role if he could get up into the 70s. I think he's at 70 overall right now, so I think he could be ready. We did bring him in as a free agent, but that one's actually a walk for Carter. And that's going to be a hit and run there. And they might be able to get number 5 out of this. And no, it's great defensive play to get him out at home plate. Good defensive work there, but you see how poorly we've been. 10 hits for the Rangers, none for us. Brought in some pinch hitters here in the 7th, and hasn't made much of a difference. Pasquantino does make contact. One of our better hitters, but he's also going to go 3 up, 3 down. Next up, Jordan Hicks comes into the game. Not really someone I need to see much of. After we brought him in last year, he did well. He did poorly to start the season, but turned it around by the end. And that one is smashed to right field. So that's 2 on now. That's a full count against Huff. Need to be careful with Hicks. Can let some hits in and can let some walks go. And he's left up another hit here. That's at least 1 through. They're going to try and get a second one. But McCann gets him there and is able to get the first out of the inning with some good defensive play. And Tavares is low on that slider. That's a strikeout there for Hicks. Not exactly the greatest showing from Hicks, but this is the type of pitcher he is. There's a slider over the middle that will get him. Not in a great position, but they got the job done. More pinch hitting here for us, and it's not done anything for us. We're getting some contact, but we're always going to a defender, and that'll end the 8th. One of our new signings here is going to come into the game now, Tyler Glasnow. He's probably going to be number 3 in our rotation. I think our 1-2 is set with Brady Singer and Noah Syndergaard. Probably not going to throw much in the spring training, those two. Actually, that should be 1 and 2 there, but and that should have been a strikeout there. That circle changes in. The slider's going to catch him to swing here, Duran. But Glasnow should have the strikeout already. And that knuckle curve is also borderline, so he could have struck him out twice. Another walk here for Glasnow. That's not good. 2 up, 2 walks. And that one's going to advance everyone. And Wallace once again makes a defensive error, a play that he should make. It's a nice slider low, but Glasnow's in trouble. But he will get out of it with the circle change. Bobby Witt Jr. comes into the game in the 9th, and it's a nice hit out to left center field, and that actually goes over the fence. Take it It's up to Bobby Witt Jr. to come in and smash one into the over the fence to get us started here offensively. Ricky Vanasco, the man, and Wallace actually might reach here. Yes, he will. Don't know if they're going to make that a hit because, yeah, it looked like they're going to give him an error. New signing, Anthony Santander is going to get a hit for us. So that's 2 hits and an error. So we're starting to wake up here in the 9th. That was slightly high, and that might just end the game for us here. And indeed it will. A poor offensive showing, but when our guys came in that, you know, were at our major league level, they did do some good, but still poor. And we'll have to see how the rest of this spring training goes. So back to the simulating here, and we're going to really speed through this as much as we can. We will take a look at a few results here. And speaking of looking at results, Milwaukee just hammered us 15-5. What on earth happened there? 19 hits we left up. Who left those up? So not many great numbers there in terms of hitting. What about pitching is what I'm more worried about. 2 errors in as well. Beck Way left up 7 runs and got nobody out, so that'll do it. We did have a good game though as well. Oakland were shut out against us. Drew Waters is hitting 666 right now. I don't imagine he's had many at bats, but yeah, some good outings there from a lot of guys there in the pitching. More simulating here, as this is probably not going to take that long, but I do want to look at a few results, look at a few statistics before we jump into the major league season. So Shunk has only had 2 at-bats, but he's hitting 500. And Santander, he's had a few at-bats, 417. Tyler Freeman, 364, not bad. Christian Arroyo has done very well as well. Tucker Bradley is looking good. Home runs, Nick Prado got off to a red-hot start here on 46 at-bats, smashing 5 home runs at 261 average, slugging 587. Pitching's doing not very good. A lot of these guys are actually doing poorly. Glasnow was turned at 307 ERA, pretty good. So we're going to make some changes here to get some other guys some playing time, see how they get on. Back to the simulating. But I want to look at this game here against Cleveland, one of our rivals. Beat them 6-4. Hit 14 hits today. Also had an error. 380 for Arroyo. Santander is hitting 416 at the moment. Tyler Freeman's got 360. Yeah, got some good numbers here. Aaron Shunk went 333. James McCann with the error, so that's not good for our catchers. Here's another game where we faced Oakland and we beat them again 9-4. A lot of guys putting in some good work in the hitting now. It's not really giving us much result. We are 8-13 though. And some guys down there, especially in the reliever roles, that are doing pretty well. Right, gonna finish this spring training now. Let's look at the statistics and get this 26-man roster set. So a lot of our pitchers didn't really do well. Glasnow was pretty good. Nixon wasn't great. Lacey, I think, needs more time, and we've got a good few guys have done well. Ben Kudrna was one of our better guys who were, who was vying for those 4 and 5 spots. So Asa Lacey's going to go down first. I don't think he's done well enough. Jonathan Boland, that's another guy. He's going to go down to AAA. And Frank Mazzucato, another guy who was up on the 6 in ERA. And TJ Sakima as well. Both Sakima and Beck Way are both going to go down. Neither guy really did well. Beck having a 13.9 ERA. I'm going to keep Nixon right now. He's got a very good high strikeout upside. Doesn't walk anybody, but his hits and home runs, they're going to be issues. But we'll see how he gets on. He did pretty well, I think, at the end of last year. His numbers right now are hazy. If we look at our relief pitchers, other than Lucas Sims, who we brought in, they actually look very good. Bobby Ostrander, 13.2 innings, very, very few runs, 0.66 ERA. Chris Quinones also did very well. Yarbrough didn't do great, but Yarbrough is one of our best performing relievers over the last 2 years in this franchise. So he's got his major league roster set. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to send down any of these pitchers. Obviously, the closing pitcher job is Barlow's. None of our catchers really played particularly well, but they're all going to make the roster. MJ Melendez is not really a catcher anyway, but we will list him there. Telez didn't really have many at-bats, but Nick Prado did impress me, but did cool down kind of in that second half of the spring training. He started off with like 5 in his first 48 at-bats. In his last 30 or so, he only put over 1. Christian Arroyo has second base pretty much tied down. For third base, Aaron Schunk and Caden Wallace are going to be sent down. Wallace has never done well for me offensively, while Hollis and Freeman actually both had over 300 averages and 40 at-bats or more. Hollis also had 3 home runs, so Hollis looks really good, and I think that he's going to be a very useful addition, very versatile as well. Bobby Witt Jr. obviously going to be playing shortstop. Guzman, I expected to do better, didn't. Lou Ojeda was far superior, had an over 300 average. Julio Pablo Martinez isn't going to make the Major League roster, nor is Samad Taylor. Both guys posted poor averages. So, I was thinking about maybe sending Lou Ojeda down, because we still have 28 on the roster here. Gavin Cross didn't do particularly well. And Tucker Bradley did do better. So I've really got 3 guys that I want to keep, which is Tucker Bradley, Gavin Cross, and Nick Prado. And I can only keep 1. So that's going to be a tough decision. Anthony Santander, he's obviously going to make the roster. As is Grichuk. Santander actually did pretty well, did 278. I think my first decision is going to send down Cross, and now it's between Bradley and Prado. Bradley did do worse than Prado in terms of the spring training, but Prado's been significantly worse at the major league level, so I'm actually going to send down Prado and give Tucker Bradley an actual chance here. He did well late in the year last year. I think he hit 290 in September after he came up with spring training, so not exactly sure. But that's all we have time for here today. We'll get right into our opening series in the next video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. And we'll see you in the next one to start off our season against the Mariners. Peace out, guys.